Hi, welcome to Miss Parato's Music. Today we're going to be going over the yellow box that's actually before number 2, before we start getting into Essential Elements Book 1. This is going to help you with the rest of the book. In that yellow box there's a lot of vocabulary terms, but you need to know how to do this. You need to know how to do this to play music, because this is how music works. So the first thing you have there, it says beat equals the pulse of the music. And the definition in your book says the beat in music should be very steady, just like your pulse, which is totally true. Generally speaking, if you're playing music, there's some kind of pulse, or some kind of a steady beat. Sometimes when you get more advanced into music, yes, that beat could get faster or slower, but for right now, we're just going to keep it steady. So that's what that implies. The next definition that you have is called quarter note, and it has the symbol for a quarter note there, and it's equal to 1 beat of sound. So every time you see that quarter note, that's what's going to go with that steady beat. So you're going to think to yourself, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note. So every time you have that beat, you will play your note. And it also says with the definition there, notes tell us how high or low to play and how long to play. And as you go along in music, you're going to learn more notes other than just quarter notes. The next one that you have is a quarter rest, and the symbol for a quarter rest kind of looks like a little squiggly. I cannot draw them, or I can. They just never look very good. That's a hard one to draw. That squiggle, we're not going to call them squiggles, we're going to call them quarter rests, and that equals to 1 beat of silence. Now the thing in music is a lot of times when we first start learning how to play an instrument, we're really excited to make a bunch of noise. But the thing about music is that silence is just as important as sound. You have to make sure that if you see that quarter rest, there's no sound happening. Zip it. Sometimes you just need that silence within music. It creates tension, it makes things more dramatic, and sometimes you just need it to actually play when you learn how to lift your bow. It also says, as the definition there, rests tell us to count silent beats. And that's really all they do. So in the exercises starting in number 2, you're going to see a combination of quarter notes and quarter rests. The next definition that you see there is music staff. Now the music staff is those 5 lines, and I always remember 5 like you have 5 fingers on your hand, 5 lines and 4 spaces, and that's basically just what music is written on. If you ever have to draw a music staff, make sure you're only drawing 5 lines. Not 6, not 4, not 8. There's 5 lines in a music staff. Just want to put that out there. The next definition on that page is bar lines. So if you have your staff, which is 5 lines, the bar lines kind of divide up that staff into different sections. And when you start to learn to read music, especially when you learn to start counting it as well, it's going to help you organize where you are in the music. We do it by splitting it up with bar lines so we can kind of see where we are. Which brings us to the next definition that you have on that page, also the last one, it's measures. So if you took that staff with the 5 lines and you split it up with the bar lines, those little spaces that you've now created on the staff, we call those measures. So we'll say measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, measure 4, and that's how we organize it, and that's how we find our spot. Let's say you made a mistake. Happens to the best of us. And you messed up in a certain spot, and you realized, oh, it's the 4th measure in. You can say, oh, I messed up on measure 4. Can you help me with measure 4? That's how we would communicate as musicians, and it just helps you organize it. It also says in the definition in your book, the measures on this page have 4 beats each. So you'll notice in the next, actually a lot of the exercises at the beginning, within that measure that's created, and you can go ahead and look at number 2 and you can see what I'm talking about with this. Each measure has some combination of quarter rests and quarter notes, or maybe all quarter notes, or all quarter rests, or something, but there's always going to be 4 of them, no matter what the combination is. So they're just trying to help you divide it up that way. It's just easier to look at. I hope this helped you going through this before you start to get into Essential Elements Book 1. Congratulations on starting an instrument, and I'm excited for you. Join me for the next video when we start to go into number 2 in Essential Elements Book 1. I'll talk to you later. Bye.